We train hard to get the last games.
All I can say to thank them for the support, the courage that they have been giving us, because they really believe in us, and we also have everything possible to give it back to them for what they deserve, and that is what we are trying to do. We always keep on fighting for them and give them the glory that they always want for us to give them.
Scott Cooper, who is a very familiar figure also, though, and I must say also, this is going to be a
two changes for the side of Scott. Wrong, that's the pronunciation. Get the start today.
them against a tough opponent over Cebu. Meanwhile, Aguilas UMAK lost to Kaya, but it was an impressive performance. There we see the new kickoff that is going and making the rounds in football. It got sent off at the dying moments against Cebu FC, and so it's Oli Bias as right back tonight. Ooh, physical play there, and the foul is called against. Works the cross, but that's straight to the goalkeeper after a week. He'll be taking this free kick. It will be an in-swinger in towards the penalty area. It's met by Custodio and
Goal frame.
so Oma to take this against his former side. Outswinger. Again, good defending from Aguilas UMAK. It's retrieved by Patrick Reichelt. Offside is called against Reichelt. Yes, also the second top goal scorer for the national team. Here's Casemiro. Is he fouled? No call from the referee, or he does eventually make that call. It was Casemiro tripped by, looked like Oma goes for the far corner. Good hands from Shirooka. Here's Amita in an advanced position. Amita, will he work the cross? He does. It's deflected, and it bounces dangerously in front of goal. They've been all over the world. Coach Jorg, in fact, has actually been all over Southeast Asia like Scott Cooper. So they've had similar journeys. Casemiro deflected out for a corner. Could have been much worse. Ball is sent in. It's met by TAGUIG head, and I think they're now a Premier League champion for Liverpool. So the footballing world, small and big at the same time. That was a foul, heavy foul. Game's first yellow card in that 11. Ball is sent in. It's met by Stephen Hom, but he is offside. So Nafishi goes for the cross, looking for Aldeguer. It's a bit overhit, and
They don't need to look very far. They can just look in their backyard.
Hiraishi taking on his defender. Cuts inside. Looks for Reichelt. Reichelt left it, but it arrives to Aldeguer. Agiemang. Still Agiemang. And still goes for the cross. Into a dangerous 30 minutes into this one now. Neither side able to get ahead so far. Oh, that's a mistake. Here's Reichelt. Want TAGUIG have numbers here. Reichelt has Aldeguer outside. Aldeguer, will he go for the shot? Goes for the cutback. Oh, it's an own goal. How unfortunate for Aguilas UMAK FC. That's Clarino who suffered the own goal. And one TAGUIG FC, after a quite even battle between the two teams, take the go-ahead goal. Andres Aldeguer, while he didn't get the goal, he will take the most credit for that play. He is the one celebrating on your... Yes,
Try
that's
to
right.
reach, that younger community as well.
Oh, Agiemang, dangerous area. Fouled by Amita. Outswinger. Ball sent in. Quite a mess, but yeah.
Definitely playing with fire there. Here's down the spine.
He wasn't going for the ball, I must say. Had any saving to do yet so far. So on that, oh, that is a very high boot. Sato is down. No foul was called by the referee. As I was saying, Kupic has not yet been tested by Agi. Oh, Reichelt is through on goal. To double the advantage, Reichelt unselfish, and that's going to be the easiest goal of his career for Isaac Agiemang. Patrick Reichelt, usually known as a goal scorer, turns provider here for Isaac Agiemang, and it's 2-0 to one TAGUIG FC.
Quality work all around the pitch. Valiant effort from one TAGUIG FC. again taking advantage, pouncing on the mistake.
Beat Cebu and 2-0 up against Aguilas UMAK. Oh, is that a penalty? It is. Lifeline for Aguilas UMAK FC.
Was a pass from Bongolan up on top. And that's definitely a penalty. Ozinho got to the ball first.
Must say Kupic in goal for Taguig is quite an imposing figure. It's Amita to take. Amita goes for the Panenka, and what a mistake that was. Against his former side, he will not want to see that back. Oh dear.
Goes for it and doesn't even go in frame, especially when you're down 2-0 at the end, towards the end of that first half. It is crucial to keep you in the game, to try to shift momentum to your side. The attack to really test out that Taguig defense.
Corner sent in. Dangerous. Casemiro. Eventually cleared by Aguilas UMAK, but that was another who missed the penalty to start things off. That is why the scoreline is what it is. And that was the first half. Here's Reichelt down the left. Cutting inside. Looking for Casemiro. Bounce instead to Hiraishi, who takes the shot. Early cross is played in. Open goal perhaps. Shot. Good save. It's Kelondo. Amita. And then it goes out for, I think that's a goal kick. Well, Milos. Oh, good play from Hiraishi. Escapes his man. And he will force another yellow card.
Doctora, Rota, Schrock.
Two to the good, so they don't need to send too many bodies forward. Kurt Dizon is in acres of space on the left. It's sent in. Reichelt. Saved.
Set piece delivery from Hamed Hajimadi, finding Patrick Reichelt, forcing a big save from Shiraoka.
First season in the 2024 transition year, they finished 5th. Oh, that's trouble from Hancock. Here's Hamed. Hiraishi, no offside. Hiraishi saved by Shiraoka, but Hamed with the delivery straight into
Under their belt.
Hiraishi. Aldeguer is alone in the far post. Andres Aldeguer, open goal, penalty. Oh, and he made that so easy, slotting it into the corner with another goal in the PFL.
So 2 games, 2 goals for Patrick Reichelt. That's UMAK FC.
Look at that stutter step. I think that stutter step just committed the goalkeeper, and he slots it the other way. Again, this penalty might have been a little bit of a non-bearing. Rock solid tonight. And there you have it. It is full time here at the...
And as you said, if they continue on this...
この前の試合、監督に怒られたんで、ちょっともう次ないぐらいの気持ちでやりました。
He wasn't really pleased with his performance last game, so he wanted to give the best today. And then coach was not happy with his performance as well, so he had a pressure on this game today, but he is happy that he gets 3 points and a good performance.
Good evening and welcome to the second match of our Saturday doubleheader, and it's a big one between Aguilas UMAK FC and Taguig FC.
They know they have the quality to beat anybody in this league, but they also nice starting lineup.
Patrick Reichelt picked up 2 goals in their last outing in that big win against Cebu. Each sides in the standings, but we're expecting a very tight game between these two, and we are underway at the Rizal Memorial Stadium.
I was under the impression that Taguig would be in control of most of the ball here early on. Kicking in. Take a look at the there. He just...
That is 3 for Taguig.
It's Andres Aldeguer who makes it 3. Jing, I cannot believe what I'm seeing. Not even the 30-minute mark. Keep in mind.
putting himself under pressure. It's the opener. Halike, will he take it? What a goal! Halike! And it's a goal. Bottom left corner. Opportunity for Philippine Army, and it is an equalizer. Fantastic goal. It's free on the right side, looking for the cross. Nato, and it's a goal for TAGUIG. Yoka takes it straight to the goal. First blood drawn. Could easily be pulled back, but here's Aristorenas, no offside. Aristorenas makes it two.
Mirbach meets that one from Malunsoko. Shoots, and they double the lead.
Yamaguchi! What a hit!
There's an attacking chance, and the Aguilas slip it in. It's another big one here. Round 3 of the Philippines Football League 25-26 season. Will the Aguilas or Aguilas UMAK play as spoilers, or will TAGUIG continue to push its title bid right here? Welcome to match number 124 as we are coming to you from the historic Rizal Memorial Stadium in the heart of Manila. And alongside Natasha Alquiroz Dato, this is Claro Manzano. And the temperatures, I think it's ideal for football with the sun setting down, Natasha, and we have a high-stakes game in front of us.
Exactly. You have one side, TAGUIG, with the best defensive record this season, with the second best attacking record, looking and hunting for a trophy. They are that same number of points alongside Manila Digger, and a win today could help boost their case. And on the other side, you have Aguilas UMAK FC. Stallions who draw a while ago helped them solidify that number 5 spot. And they could hunt for more points today and be one of those spoilers this season, especially in this championship round. Aguilas have had such a great record in this championship round. They just got that win, coming off a win versus Cebu. And they had a draw against Manila Digger, or beating Manila Digger rather.
Aguilas have been upset conscious as of late. They've been able to bag results here and there, obviously over higher ranked teams, because they got the last ticket to make it to the big dance here, or the championship round. But let's look at the previous meeting here between our two teams. It was a 4-1 victory for TAGUIG over the Aguilas, and that game was just last April 18 this year, of course, in 2026. And in this point in time, TAGUIG needed the win to continue to dictate the pace in the standings. Pero sa Aguilas, Natasha, their bid to make it to the top 6 was actually derailed by this massive loss, because the Aguilas defeated Kaya and they just plummeted back down to earth with this reality check.
And when you think about the round 1 and round 2, when TAGUIG and Aguilas went head-to-head, in round 2, TAGUIG won 4-1 against Aguilas, and it was a first-half masterclass. Hiraishi, Agyamang, Aldeguer, Goldson, all names that are in the starting lineup for today, scored a goal each to get that 4-0 cushion before Aguilas eventually coming back in that second half, a goal care of Diallo.
And just for the record, in the first half, TAGUIG did dispatch the Aguilas 3-0. So there's that mastery of sorts, but we always say it's on paper because this is a fresh new game. And we will take a look at Aguilas UMAK first. And just to preview the squad of Coach Bing Colina heading into this massive clash. So with that, for the Aguilas, 2 wins and a loss so far in this championship round. I think that's pretty good considering they're a number 6 ranked team here.
Exactly, and they're coming fresh off a win. And the goal scorers in those games, Aguilas 1-0 versus Cebu. You have the likes of Yamamoto. Aguilas lost to Kaya 3-1, but Peña gets a goal. And Aguilas won against Manila Digger with Tete getting on that score sheet. So you could see that Aguilas now beaming with confidence, finally finding their fluidity with, of course, their head coach Coach Bing at the helm of this squad that have gone through so many changes and rotations all throughout this season. And though there's not much to play for them in terms of what else they can achieve, they're solidifying that 5th round, but it's a good way to end the season with a bang if they can continue on this fine form.
And you do see actually that Kira Yamamoto is not in the lineup for the Aguilas because he is serving a suspension. So that's a big blow to them considering the recency when he was able to deliver. But you see the return of Nano Amita, their captain, to the starting lineup. He's been coming off the bench as of late in his return from injury. Parang pinapaunti-unti nila.
And you have 5 changes for the Aguilas. Up on top, Adamu gets a start. As you've mentioned, Amita and Depola. So there's changes in those midfield roles. Ganyas gets a start on that right wing. And Kalokaran back on that first 11 as that left back.
And that is actually Anthony Ganas, who is Filipino Kiwi. So he's going to have to step up big time. But a lot of players to watch here. But we're able to zoom in, of course, on one, just to sort you out for this upcoming fixture. Issa Diallo, the leading scorer, but the thing is, not that I'm taking anything away from him, yes, he's the leading scorer, but the Aguilas have been able to get some even contributions from everyone, but he is still that player who will be also under the watch of Juan Taguig, without a doubt.
That's right, and also that he scored a goal in their last outing, the lone goal that Aguilas were able to score. So he will be a player that they will look out for, especially Diallo alongside Adamu with that attacking threat. Depola, of course, a player so creative in that midfield to help feed the players up on top.
So let's see how Issa Diallo will be able to fare in this one, of course, as we just wrapped up our conversation here for the 5th ranked Aguilas UMAK FC. Let's head over to title contenders Juan Taguig. Simple as is, they need the win and they hope that Manila Digger will drop points in the next game. But we'll focus right here, and we were saying it's that next man up mentality. We say that as much as this is a very deep team for Juan Taguig.
And in the championship round, they haven't had the best of records. 1 win, 1 draw, and 1 massive loss. Taguig won 3-0 against Stallion. You had Reichel, Schrock, and Sato getting on the score sheet. Then they drew Cebu. Reichel getting on that score sheet. And Taguig, they lost against Kaya 3-1. It was a big loss for them. And only Agyemang was technically gifted the goal. And it's bounce back day for the side of Juan Taguig. The pressure is on them to get the result today, to get the advantage for that final match day. As we mentioned, they are sitting at number 2, and despite Manila Digger and Taguig both having the same amount of points in terms of goal difference, Manila Digger have the upper hand. And Stephen Hall being back in that center back position is a big boost for the side of Juan Taguig. A couple of changes as well for them. Casemiro on that first 11, and it's Aldeguer instead of Schrock, and Stephen Halm over for Suelo as that back. And you feel that they really lacked him when they went that 3 back, and there is a difference when Juan Taguig play when it's 3 back and when they have that solid 4 players in the back.
It's actually Stephen Ham who appears to be the lone natural center back right here. Also no Agyemang and Shraki, to be precise. You have Agyemang who is actually serving a suspension, as to be precise. That's when it starts to hurt you in the late stages of the season. But let's head over to our player to watch for Juan Taguig and for the entire crew. And with the team being so talented, as we know, who's the guy you look out for right here? We'll try to oversimplify it for the entire team.
There's so many players that have played key moments and positions, but defensively you have Halm, one of our players to watch, and then on the opposite end you have Reichelt, a player very important in terms of getting those goals for the side of Juan Taguig. You have that spine of in the middle, really, of Juan Taguig. As you mentioned, Kupic, the most number of clean sheets in the league. He has 12 to his name. You have Halm, center back that gives them stability. You have Hartman, who has been such a creative outlet and a dead ball specialist, able to really set up his teammates to a T. And then you have the likes of Casemiro, just lurking around that attacking end, and you have Reichelt at the sphere. So the spine of One Taguig, very dangerous.
Stephen Hall, when he was out, they used a makeshift backline with 3 center backs. Their players were actually not natural center backs. They used Sato, Forosuelo, and company. Also Mahmoud Ali. We know they are defenders though who could get the job done. But unfortunately, it led to that 3-1 loss versus Kaya FC. So we were talking about the advantage of paper. But we know, Natasha, the result is not guaranteed for One Taguig. As much as we mentioned, they swept the first and second round against the Aguilas.
Not at all. If anything, this third round, this championship round, has been turning out to be completely unpredictable. And One Taguig, of course, they'll also have the extra boost of confidence. The national team have just released the players who have gotten called up, and Daisuke Sato gets the call up for the national team once again. He is the captain for One Taguig and plays at left back. So Sato alongside Rosquillo, Nishioka, and Dato, all with an extra boost coming into the last 2 match days of the PFL season.
But don't you worry, when the PFL season ends, we have an international window. We'll give you more details as we carry on with this game, because we are closing in on kickoff in match number 124. We have Aguilas UMAK and One Taguig squaring off at the Rizal Memorial Stadium. It is round 3 action again. Stay with us as our players are about to take it to the pitch in tune to the Philippines Football League anthem.
Let us welcome the teams of Aguilas, UMAK FC, and One Taguig FC.
Let's go, One Taguig.
Here's another look at the starting lineup of Aguilas UMAK and Coach Bing Colina. As expected, they are playing at 4-3-3.
For the side of Aguilas, Shirooka will be the goalkeeper of choice. Only one change in the back line. Caloocaran on the left alongside Villarreal, Diallo, and Palpalato. In that midfield, 2 changes. The attacking midfielders change. De Paula and Amita alongside Tete will hold the midfield. On the left is Dia, Adamo, and Ganas.
We will head over to One Taguig later on, but let's take a look at our match officials and team captains Nano Amita and Daisuke Sato, respectively, for the Aguilas and One Taguig. With our match officials, ang referee natin ay si Chris Mark Nanyola at ang kanyang assistant si sila Hamid Pasion and Ryan Flores. Si Michael Paras ay ang fourth official. Ang referee assessor si Roberto Hernandez. Ang match commissioner si Ms. Ira Ilan. We'll head over to One Taguig again a bit, and it is a back four again, Natasha, because Stephen Hall is back.
And Stephen Hall alongside Ali will hold that back line. You have the attacking powers of Sato on that left. And on the right, Aoki, the midfield of Ome and Hartman, and with Goldson who gets the start. Hiraishi will play a more attacking role as that left winger, and Aldeguer gets the start on the right-hand side, and Reichelt up on top.
Aoki is also making his second consecutive start. He did get minutes as a wingback and got to log in 45 minutes. There's that extra pressure and tension in the air because we are late in the season. Minimal games, but you're hoping to get maximum points. If you have won the gig chasing the title, you have the Aguilas who are realistically gunning for the 5th spot. We say that because they entered the championship round in number 6.
But with their results in the championship round, they are currently at that 5th position, and they want to make that home. And they could do so today if they get the win to cement it already.
And this game was kicked off quickly by Patrick Reichelt. Your not so ordinary national team assistant manager, because he is still active as a player, retired from the national team level. Of course, you see him in that off-pitch role as that locker room presence. Amita, Goldson was able to pick his pocket and get it to Hartman. Aoki, JV Kalukaran matching up with Andres Aldeguer. Quite a surprise, actually, that Aldeguer did come off the bench in that last game of theirs. So you expect him to be a shoe-in, but here's a quick counter, and it was stopped by Ali.
Important tackle from Ali, and that was well timed from him as well. It was quick movements and the sprint of Adamu. He got away, but he timed that one so well.
1 minute into this game, and you saw both teams go full gas from the get-go. And so it's a dangerous one when Brian Palpalatok sends in a corner on a free kick. Gives a bit of the shimmy to Saw. Everyone bit for that fake. Eventually sends it in. Chupich couldn't get it. It was quite loose, but it's to the wing. Chance to cross it in. Canas. Over hit to the back post.
It was a dangerous moment from the corner there that Aguilas couldn't take advantage of. Kaya scored in a similar fashion the last match day between TAGUIG and Kaya, which means defensively, TAGUIG can be shaky defending corners. Small way that TAGUIG you can't take advantage of team like TAGUIG. As we talked about them, they have the best defensive record. It's not easy to score against one TAGUIG. And the 89 games that they've had, 89 goals scored from the 23 games, only 13 goals against.
Well, let's remember, a bulk of those goals conceded were late in the second round or even in this round 3. As Boubacar Diallo will get it to the newly married Temoshi Shiraoka. Congratulations to him, of course, and his wife. Here's Dodong Villarreal. Gifted possession. And Natasha, we're only 3 minutes in. We saw one TAGUIG give up possession earlier. Sumigaw si Sato. He's fiery from the get-go. I know that can work in a good way in terms of intensity.
And you always want your team to start the game with maximum focus already. Not to slowly get into it, but to start strong, take advantage. When you get those early goals, it helps dictate how you play, and it puts the opponent playing catch-up right away.
Other than the players to watch or that potential matchup of Lisa Diallo and Stephen Hom, I like what we have here on the wing. You have Brian Palpalatok, an up-and-coming fullback. He's Filipino, born overseas. He's going up the OG, tried and tested Daisuke Sato, who is back with the national team again. We said drop the former from the international status of Sato because he is active again for the Philippines. Amita hit it wide. Chance now to cross. Isa looking around. Ali once more gets the stop. This rattled around. Stephen Helm got it to Aoki. They comfortably get it here, but it only goes as far as Pedro De Paula. Richard Tete. They'll try to go right this time around. Not so sure about the intention there as he will yield possession to Taguig.
It's been a shaky start. The pressure is really on for Taguig to get a result today.
Off the head of Goldson. You have two Brazilians on the pitch here. One for each team. You got Pedro De Paula for Aguilas. You've got Goldson for Taguig. Tete once more. He's not playing that center back role for them, but he can play in the heart of defense. He can even play in the heart of midfield. They'll add Shiraoka to the back now. Reichelt triggers the press. Todong sends it forward. And there's a late whistle from Chris Mark Nanyola with Mahmoud Ali hitting the pitch.
Call there as well is for that foul from Adamu. The offside call rather from Adamu. Gets a touch to the ball, but he was coming from an offside position.
It was distributed quickly. You have Dialia who is playing on the wing. You have Adamu who is playing up front. It's the Aguilas in control of this one. They're taking their sweet time at the back. They look to punch a hole through this solid Taguig formation. It's the opposite that's going on though. Now to Hiraishi. This eventually went to the wing. There's a whistle against the Aguilas. It will go the way of Goldson and Taguig in white.
We mentioned again everything to play for in this match. Taguig have the chance to give themselves a cushion.
Naoto. Cross. The header. But Shiraoka time is triggered very early in this game.
Best chance that we've seen thus far. Sato with the ball to Hiraishi down that left flank. Lobbing ball perfectly for Aldeguer, who takes it with power and pace, forcing a save from Shiraoka, but not out of the woods yet. They give up a corner. Hartman with a deadly delivery.
Straight to Shiraoka this time around. Teimoshi was able to read the intentions of Mark. It's time for the Aguilas to unleash on the counter. We were saying, of course, that they have to play a perfect game because they are underdogs in this championship round, with them being the lowest ranked team. Taguig, we can say it's next man up mentality, because if someone else can deliver, their high-octane team is going to be so dangerous to stop.
One advantage that Taguig has going for them coming into this game against Aguilas is just the dominance that they've had over Aguilas throughout the season. In round one, Taguig beat Aguilas 3-0. And in round two, Taguig beat Aguilas 4-1.
So that's a 3-goal margin for Taguig in those two matchups. There's that psychological advantage of sorts, or the advantage on paper. Can we also look at it in another perspective? Pressure is on Taguig to get this victory.
That's right. And for the other hand of Aguilas, the eyes that they're looking in coming into this game is that they're coming from a confident 1-0 win against Cebu. They've had the best record, the second best record in the championship round alongside Kaya. 2 wins and a loss. So they're finding their form late. But it's a different Aguilas now that's going against Taguig.
Quite the right time to peak if you are the Aguilas, because they were winless against top 7 teams in the second round, save for Aguilas UMAK defeating Kaya. That's the only victory they got against any top 7 team. They almost did not make it to the championship round. They won games that they had to bag, but there was that massive loss to Taguig. The Aguilas were also able to advance to this championship round with Manila Digger denying Maharlika a 3-0 victory, because Maharlika were right under also. A quality team that was also fun to witness here in the PFL. You have the drums banging now for the Aguilas. That's been a regular thing in this third round. Aldeguer tried to go for it this time, but it couldn't work out.
Earlier on your screens, you're seeing that Rizal Memorial Stadium. The fans are trickling in, slowly filling up the stadium. You see young kids out in front, continuously cheering for Taguig. You hope that you continue to make it that family affair when you come on out to the Rizal Memorial Stadium. It's the last 2 match days. May time pa rin ngayon. 9 p.m. pa yung susunod na laban. Walang traffic din ngayon kasi holiday. And we're also setting everyone up to come to Rizal for the last match day on Saturday as well.
Stephen Halm uncomfortable here. Gifted away to Tete. He'll try to slice the defense. Just secured by Cupid easily. He will volley it to the wing. Overhit though to Reichelt, showing us his technical ability though, casually.
Reichelt alongside Hartman, players that we see on our screen. Reichelt 21 goals to his name. You have the like of Hartman, 18 assists.
Reichelt is number 3 in the scoring category, or the Golden Boot race. Hartman is the leader in terms of assists. It seems quite a shock though to catch up to Pa Usman, guy of Manila Digger, in the Golden Boot race, who has about 29 goals. But from the looks of it, Natasha, it seems like Golden Boot winner is going to a Manila Digger player for the 2nd consecutive season. The reigning winner, of course, or last year's winner, is Sekou Cisse. De Paula couldn't get it. Sato to Reichelt. But there's a whistle in the midfield, though. It's Taguig possession. Just played short on the ground. Hartman is connecting with Sato. Ali. You're joining us on the Philippines Football League's YouTube page. It's the 2nd game in our Wednesday triple header. Ganas. Anton Ganas is actually one of the few holdovers from last season's team, where the Aguilas were known as Davao Aguilas UMAK. Reichelt and Villarreal get into a collision.
Not good signs to see 2 players down feeling the complete impact of that 50-50 challenge. Villarreal and Reichelt. You couldn't see from this angle right there, but you'd say that Villarreal and Reichelt slow to get back up at the moment, but both of them there, the call falls in favor of TAGUIG.
Sato giving a mouthful or earful to Villarreal. Tapos pagkatapos, ngumiti silang dalawa. Plenty of fouls though as of late committed by the Aguilas. TAGUIG just creeping closer and closer to the goal of Teimoshi Shiraoka. Diagonal ball. This may be confirmed for Sato, but TAGUIG will take this goal without a doubt. Daisuke Sato scoring once more here.
Daisuke Sato, the diving header, the back of the net, the lead for TAGUIG, a sigh of relief for the team. And another delivery from Mark Hardman. You have those tall attacking players getting ahead to it. Sato always known for putting his body on the line. Hall getting to there, and Sato just ushering it to the back of the net. The defense completely missed that. Every player was ball watching. It looped over every attack, every defensive player before it finds Hall. The connection with Sato. Perfect way to start the game for TAGUIG.
Sato clearly loving it as he got to bag another goal. Coach Arvin loving it. And this is what the return of Stephen Hall is also about. Those aerial duels. He got to assist Daisuke. And Sato, being the decorated player that he is, he's going to put that away day in and day out. Both teams did get promising spells with possession. Palpalato gets this back to Villarreal. It's Palpalato who is down though. Let's see if they will eventually stop play. Boubacar Diallo.
Palpalato just feeling the full impact. Going body to body with Reichelt. I love that friendly banter as well inside the pitch. When Aguilas players go down, TAGUIG players there to give them a little pep talk before pulling them up.
After all, naging tito figure na rin si Patrick Reichelt, as we know. Play will resume with this drop ball. Palpalato just had to shake it off. He did not need medical attention. That's a good sign, of course. Center backs exchanging touches. Kalukaran. The Aguilas did have a spell where they were dictating play. Momentum eventually went the way of TAGUIG, especially with the way they won plenty of fouls. Palpalato tried to go for it. Talk about the swerve of the ball, but just couldn't get it to dip. Would have been a highlight if he nailed it. He knows it.
It's a great chance for Aguilas. The ball bouncing perfectly. Palpalato with time and space to try to hit that as best as possible. He gets the power, he gets the swerve, but just couldn't dip in time.
at the 19th minute, and it's still 1-0 for TAGUIG over Aguilas UMAK. Bubakar Diallo will get it back to Shiraoka. So Daisuke Sato, our goal scorer in this young evening, also did score against Stallion Laguna in the championship round.
A player like Daisuke Sato on that left flank. Such a big impact for TAGUIG, not only on the defensive edge, but on the attacking end as well.
Aoki just getting the job done here on defense. Not just getting it done, but wins possession for them.
This is also a big test for Aguilas. As we've mentioned, they beat Cebu, they beat Manila Digger.
Goldson had a hard fall, but the foul is against his team. Here's De Paula. Got it to Palpalatok. I did mention this in one of the Aguilas' previous games in the championship round. He loved the banter of the Aguilas social media team, putting Pedro De Paula out for the World Cup. He was not named to the squad of his country, Brazil. Everyone got the memo.
And I think of all the social media pages of all the teams, Aguilas have that edge. Especially trying to be relatable and memeable.
I did give my sarcastic congratulations to Pedro De Paula. He just bursted out laughing. Home with the forward ball. Now you can say it's overhit because Sato will chase that down until he could just go for it. There was a bit of the concern from Andres Aldeguer, checking on the inflation of the ball. Or do you say he's wasting time or delaying the throw-in of the Aguilas? Daisuke. It's his opposite left back who got to stop in JV Calukara, and that's why he will look to push. Isa Diallo. He won't wait for numbers. Takes on Aoki.
Well timed again from Aoki. He's been important on that right back position, taking on Diallo and Adamu like for speed. The important thing is getting that touch without giving away the foul.
Ichiro Aoki is a local player, tandaan nga natin. Goldson may be shaken up from that fall earlier. I am just speculating. Now play will resume with this Palpalatok throw-in. 1/4 into this game already. Your lone goal scorer so far is Daisuke Sato. Amita, he has been silent as of late. And it's Jupic. Very routine for him when you talk about the Serbian goalkeeper.
He's played an important factor in helping TAGUIG get a lot of those wins and those clean sheets. Player with really good shot stopping ability. Those quick reactions, close range chances.
TAGUIG with a very deep goalkeeping roster. Come to think of it, you have Henry Bandican, who's Cameroonian. He's been in the Philippines for quite some time. You have Jack Zambrano. He was a member of Cebu FC's inaugural squad in the PFL competitions. He did get to make an AFC appearance. That was in the Champions League 2 years back with Cebu. Now it's Tete who will facilitate. Ganas got it to Villarreal. They got to create some space on the wing. Palpalatok wide. Cross just cleared off by Halm.
And just to add to the number of quality goalkeepers that Taguig have, Kevin Motakian is also a player that comes from Taguig, loaned out to Mendiola. Fantastic goalkeeper as well.
A lot of good goalkeepers right here in the PFL. When you talk about local and international. Ham's clearance went the wrong way because it came off Adamu.
You feel in the 25 minutes played thus far that it's Taguig that have had 2 of the better chances and were able to convert 1 of them.
Chupic will resume. Nauto couldn't get it. Hiraishi playing on his usual or natural wing spot because he did play fullback as of late in the recent games with no Stefan Schrack for Taguig on the left. They are moving Nauto to that spot.
And Hiraishi, another versatile player for the side of Taguig.
Sato versus Palpalatok once more. Keep an eye on this matchup. Tete thought about it, switches it to Isa. They have targets inside if they can cross. Chupic couldn't get it. Amita shoots, and it's eventually tapped in for the equalizer. Adamu delivering, putting that one away with that nano Amita assist.
Resilience shown from Aguilas UMAK FC. They hounded the attacking third, made sure that they had the numbers. If first you don't succeed, try and try again. And Adamu, despite that sea of players, a touch from Kupic that fell for Amita, gives it to Adamu. It finds the back of the net. The pressure being put on, but the composure from Amita to find Adamu in a sea of white.
We said Amita was quiet earlier. Better late than never, though. Coach Bing now loving that one.
Aguilas quickly answering back, able to equalize. 10 minutes after Taguig has scored the opener. Let's put things in level term. This championship round continues to surprise us.
Just a quick reset, of course, for those who just tuned in. Don't you worry, we got you covered. Daisuke Sato opened things about 10 minutes ago. He got to bank on the Stephen Halm assist, but there was a quality ball from Mark Hartman to make that possible. Just up until now, though, Taguig led 1-0. The Aguilas were able to pounce. They just put on the pressure. They put numbers just outside that 6-yard box. Adamu, Ganas, Amita, Nano able to assist that goal of Adamu, who was clinical. Back in level terms. Intensity up a notch, and expect things just to go up as we carry on in this game.
You also feel that Kupic could have done better dealing with the cross from that left-hand side.
You're joining us on the YouTube page of the Philippines Football League. Earlier today, we did get to see Stallion Laguna and Cebu FC battle to a 1-all draw. Cebu getting a taste of their own medicine. They were becoming the gentle comeback giants because they trail 1-0. They'll score late to bag a draw. Flip the script. It was Stallion who equalized with Koichi Belgira. Plenty of 1-all draws all over the championship round, Natasha, come to think of it. Mukhang may konting hawak doon. That may have been so. He got away with it. Or want to gig as a whole. Palpalato could not keep it in though. Play to the whistle though, as they say. That's exactly what he did. Off camera, Natasha, I will point out Dodong Villarreal giving Patrick Reichelt a bit of a hit. Reichelt showing his displeasure. He's continuing to do so against Dodong. One thing is for sure, you never want to get into an argument with either player.
The battle between Villarreal and Reichelt.
That was lovely though from Amita. Just couldn't nail it though. But yes, this is not a chess match as I would say. Parang arm wrestling ito eh. As Chris Mark Nanyola is pacifying the two over at the half line.
Two of the youngest players in the PFL. Showing how much passion they have on the pitch. That battle between that center back and the striker. Always one to look out for.
Tito Pat versus Tito Dodong. Let's put it that way. Who's the cooler Tito? The answer is whoever wins this game. Speaking of these veteran wits of One Taguig, with all due respect, I mean this in a nice way, it comes with age. Diego Cordero was saying the Aguilas, one of the younger teams in terms of average age. Considering you have Dodong Villarreal, but your average age is quite low. That means you have plenty of young players surrounding him. Pedro De Paula was surrounded, got it wide to Palpalatok. It's similar now to how this game started with Aguilas UMAK holding momentum. Lovely here from Boubacar Diallo.
Boubacar Diallo showing us his composure and technique under pressure.
As a center back, add that to your highlights. A-okay. Daisuke Sato with the hold on to Pedro De Paula. The latter is furious. But Chris Mark Nanyola saw something. That is why it's a foul against the Aguilas.
You're not sure what started that first. You can tell that Sato took a hold onto De Paula.
Let's also remember, Daisuke Sato was with Aguilas in the 2024 PFL season. Along with him, Shoma Sato, Saoma. That was not the tandem, but that was the contingency of Sato and friends. Those three players I mentioned all went to One Taguig for the 24-25 season. Shoma Sato's departed One Taguig, so you have So and Daisuke.
And that always gives a player that extra motivation. When you're going against your former club, you always want to play your best game. And Daisuke Sato scoring a goal against his former club, that is a statement.
It's also flip it. Nano Amita was with One Taguig in that same season. Wala namang trade dito in Philippine football, as we know. Down the line, it became a swap of sorts.
And Nano Amita, that used to be the captain as well for One Taguig, found his way now on to Aguilas, called it home. And also a player that has had an assist in this matchup.
And then you have Sato scoring the goal, as you've mentioned. Sato will also celebrate defensive stops as if they were goals, which you love. I'm excited to see that again with the men's national team. It was loose by Hartman though, but Ali was able to bail them out on that right side as Ham is on an island. So, here's the Japanese connection, but it's no good. With you mentioning Nano Amita being Wantagig's captain in that 2024 season, that was their inaugural squad, as we recall. Sato getting hit in the chest, I believe. But I believe the foul was elsewhere.
That's right, fouls called in a different position. Right before that, Sato getting sandwiched by two defensive players of Aguilas.
Aldeguer got his head to it there, but it went out. Because the Aguilas want to build up from the back. You see Reichelt leading the probing runs. They are keeping the intensity, but the Aguilas able to escape. Here comes Isa Diallo. He did give the hockey assist, let's remember. Canas hit the pitch.
Time tackle from Daisuke Sato.
Sato sends us back the attacking way. Pedro de Paula says no. Gets it back. Hiraishi from behind. Advantage waved, or advantage was given by Chris Mark Nanyola. Reichelt now on the left. That's where he really got to establish himself in the Philippine football scene. Let's remember, the likes of Reichelt, they also got to win PFL titles with CRS, so they'll look to do it this time around here with Wantagig. And there's that experience, of course, which is paramount. Aldeguer making it difficult for Isa Diallo. Richard Tete. Amita. Right after that goal, you just saw the Aguilas cling on and utilize that momentum. Nano to Palpalatok. He'll cross it with his right as expected. Ichiro Aoki will collect. Goldson had to make that desperate lunge because if otherwise, the Aguilas would have won it in a golden area.
We said moments where it has been shaky. Any loose control, any loose touch, being pounced on by the opponents. Pass was overhit from Palpalato. Went to the opposite end. Aguilas put on the press, quickly transitioned on defensive mode to try to cause some chaos and win it back in a favorable area, eventually giving up that foul.
Hello everyone, my name is Dr. Luis, and the opponents will get out of here.
Philippine national team call-up Kenji Nishoka is now here at the stadium because Manila Digger and Kai FC Iloilo will be squaring off in our third game this Wednesday, May 27. Now play will resume as it's with Hartman. Bidding is sweet time. Confidence with the ball, of course. It's the Aguilas defending. They're in red and blue. Wantagig in white and dark blue. Alongside Natasha Alquiros Data, this is Caro Manzano. 1-1 is the score. Ibrahim Adamu was able to cancel out the opener of Daisuke Sato. It's a stop here though. It's 10v11 with Cold Sun on the side. It was Aoki who was dispossessed. Depola. Palpalatok. Amita. They're getting it forward with the drums cheering them on. JB Kalukaran somehow got his head to it. Tight spot here, but it's secured by the keeper.
It was good track back from Hartman. Though it went over him and connected with the player. Made the angle as tight as possible. Eventually Kupic able to pick up.
My turn, your turn. Now it is one TAGUIG. 6 minutes remaining until additional time in the first half. Hartman with his trademark. And it will stay with them. One TAGUIG in control of their destiny when you talk about the title race. In this instance, they need to win. They can think about the next game after they put this one away. Anything less than a win for one TAGUIG will make their title hopes a bit more difficult. Off of Reichelt, Hiraishi. So, Sato, Canas. A bit of the bump from Reichelt. Canas winning the foul. Let's remember, Natasha, we talked about the title implications for one TAGUIG, but the Aguilas do have something to play for. They want to finish 5th in this scenario. The score is 1-1. It was a 1-1 draw earlier again. Going back to that 1-1 draw, it was with Cebu and Stallion. Dikit talaga yung laban with all of these draws. But it's the league format. If we were playing in the knockout stages of a cup or the Copa, we would have headed over to extra time or even penalties.
But the good thing about this championship round, it's the first time that the PFL has done it, and it's proving to be such a good gamble and such a good mix-up to the format of the league. We have the championship battle for the #1 spot between one TAGUIG and Manila Digger. Cebu and Kaya, both still a chance for the #3. And then for that 5th spot, Aguilas have the upper hand, but Stallion could come away depending on how this match pans out and the last game day plays out. But in terms of fixtures, it's 1 versus 2, 3 versus 4, and 5 versus 6 on Saturday.
Cleared off here by the keeper. Goldson reading that well. Aldeguer will use the space to his advantage. Cleared off, ball still in play. With this though, Stallion, or if you look at the live standings, Stallion trail Aguilas by 3 points. That is too close for comfort if you're Aguilas UMAK. So that is why you also have to go for the win. Here's DePaula. Hartman floored. Time wasting starting, could you say, or delaying the attack. DePaula got hit, sending the ball back. As much as he was in the spot where the free kick was set to be taken.
Both teams just trying to get that mental edge over the other, playing a lot of mind games.
Ali to So. Naoto. Remember, he has experience again in that J-League pyramid. You talk about Naoto Hiraishi. He was playing in his maiden season in the PFL in 2024. His parents came all the way from Japan to catch him play. Hiraishi did depart one TAGUIG actually at the end of last season. Next thing you know, it's a surprise with Hiraishi being on the team sheet of one TAGUIG on opening day of this campaign. Canas did well in the tight space, as is the case with De Paula. Palpalato has to retreat. They'll use the space at the back. 2 minutes of stoppage time as confirmed by Michael Barajas, our fourth official.
And you love how this game is opening up. It's played very quick. Both teams have scored a goal each. If one of these teams can score one more, they will have the advantage coming into halftime.
It will be a disaster for either defense in that instance if that happens. A heartbreaker too. Goldson collected a second ball. Boubacar Diallo just charged forward. He will join the attack. Ali gets hit while clearing it.
It's been a very physical matchup between these two teams. Both with a lot to prove, but one TAGUIG with the most to gain.
All for the title again. When you talk about one TAGUIG.
Talk about those two teams that are battling it out for the championship.
Long ball.
The likes of one TAGUIG have so many players, veteran players, that have played at high levels where the pressure is on and they deliver. The question of them is, can they do it again? So you'd say that they have that mental edge, while on a paper, Manila Digger with the better record.
Let's also remember, with one TAGUIG and Manila Digger guaranteed in the top two, they're guaranteed spots in the AFC, but who's getting the title? Who gets the bigger ticket though? But it's 1-1 at the half. And there is that goal again from Ibrahim Adamu to cancel out Taisuke Sato's opener. So we enter level. Stay with us, of course, because we will bring you your highlights and statistics in a bit. Confirmation again of your score. It's 1-0 between the Aguilas and one TAGUIG.
Yeah, thanks so much, El to Galili. See you next time in the pitch. Thank you so much.
If you're in the Philippines, come out, come support the league, support your local players, come support the foreigners.
Thank you for support, Manila Tigers, and next time ulit, kung merong oras, punta kayo sa stadium. Thank you.
Thank you sa mga Mindiola, yung mga nanonood dyan, mga supporters, sa mga nanonood din sa YouTube.
Yeah, let them keep coming and supporting. We will make them proud.
Oh, thanks everyone and one TAGUIG fans and all that things for coming and watching.
Sa lahat ng Kaya football fans, sana tuloy pa rin kayong sumuporta sa amin. Hindi lang sa Kaya fans, sana sa Philippine Football League dito, sana supportahan niyo po.
Tara, Cebu! It's amazing here. We have to keep coming, keep supporting every club, every supporter. We have to go together.
To all my Mahalika family, yeah, thank you for the continuous support, everyone.
To the fans, I think this result is just for them. I think they are coming up to support us. I think we are giving all the best that we can so that they can come a little bit more.
Thank you for coming. Hope to see you next game. Thank you.
We cannot go without the fans. We will always be there for them, to make them happy, to score, to win game week in, week out, so that they will be happy watching us and coming to the stadium. We want them to come out and support.
Hello, thank you for supporting Mindiola. Sana hindi kayo magsawa magsuporta sa amin. We train hard to get the last games.
All I can say is to thank them for the support, the courage that they have been giving us, because they really believe in us, and we also have everything possible to give it back to them for what they deserve, and that is what we are trying to do. We always keep on fighting for them and give them the glory that they always want us to give them.
Yeah, thanks so much, Ertuğrul Galeli. See you next time in the pitch. Thank you so much.
If you're in the Philippines, come out, come support the league, support your local players, come support the foreigners.
Thank you for support Manila Tigers, and next time ulit, kung merong oras, punta kayo sa stadium. Thank you.
Thank you sa mga Mindiola, yung mga nanonood dyan, mga supporters, sa mga nanonood din sa YouTube.
Yeah, let them keep coming and supporting. We will make them proud.
Oh, thanks everyone and what TAGUIG fans and other teams for coming and watching.
Sa lahat ng Kaya football fans, sana tuloy pa rin kayong sumuporta sa amin. Hindi lang sa Kaya fans, sana sa Philippine Football League dito, sana supportahan niyo po.
Tara, Cebu. It's amazing here. We have to keep coming, keep supporting every club, every supporter. We have to go together.
To my Mahalika family, yeah, thank you for the continuous support, everyone.
To the fans, I think this result is just for them. I think they are coming up to support us. I think we are giving all the best that we can so that they can come a little bit more.
Thank you for coming. Hope to see you next game. Thank you.
We cannot go without the fans. We will always be there for them, to make them happy, to score, to win game week in, week out, so that they will be happy watching us and coming to the stadium. We want them to come out and support.
Hello, thank you for supporting Mindiola. Sana hindi kayo magsawa magsuporta sa amin. We train hard to get the last games.
All I can say is to thank them for the support, the courage that they have been giving us, because they really believe in us, and we also have everything possible to give it back to them for what they deserve, and that is what we are trying to do. We always keep on fighting for them and give them the glory that they always want us to give them.
Level at the half between Aguilas, UMAK, and TAGUIG. Adamu and Sato, your goal scorers as we speak. Both teams have something to play for again. TAGUIG chasing and chasing the title. They need a victory if they want to get themselves in a prime spot heading into Saturday, which is the final game day of this season. And Aldeguer started this game with a bang. He got on target from the get-go. Aguilas with momentum up until this point. Things shifted. The tide going the way of TAGUIG, with them winning a number of fouls in the midfield and attacking area. Not a corner kick, but it was a free kick.
That was the goal of TAGUIG. They could have come from an offside position, but nonetheless, goal was given. It was the opener, and this was how Aguilas answered back. The cross from the left-hand side, Kupic made the stop, but not enough to get full control of it. The spills to Amita, connecting with Adamu.
No one from the defense also dared to clean up the garbage, and it became treasure for the Aguilas. As we have a look at the numbers, Natasha.
You have 57% possession for Aguilas and 43% possession for TAGUIG. Numbers that you're not usually used to seeing with teams of Aguilas and TAGUIG. And that says a lot also of how much Aguilas have improved, especially in this championship round. They've had 8 shots, 5 on target, and were able to convert 1, as compared to TAGUIG's 4 shots, 2 on target, but clinical from the 2, and were able to convert 1.
TAGUIG did get that fair share of possession. Obviously, 43 is also a good number. They were able to exchange blows. But there's those matchups again with tensions rising. Reichelt versus Villarreal. You have Sato getting into everyone's heads, of course. And I say that in a good way. And let's also see how the changes will be able to impact this game. The subs list pretty much full for TAGUIG. That was a concern in the other games because they were not able to load the roster. But in those instances, they still had 6 subs. And let's remember, you have 5 that you could use from, but nothing beats having your full roster or a full squad day list at your disposal. Cartalarok will check in right here for Anton Ganas, who did put in a solid shift.
But also names that will be missing out in this matchup, players that are not available, the likes of Schrock, and not eligible, the likes of Agyemang. So 2 players that are very important for TAGUIG, your usual starters and players that come off the bench, not available for this matchup. And for the side of Aguilas, Yamamoto, a player in a good form late into the season, not eligible to play. And again, the depth of both their squads will be tested, and Aguilas make that first sub, that halftime change. Ganas out, Cartalarok in.
So it just so happens that when you look at our 2 teams, their players who scored last game are suspended, as we also pointed out in the start of this game, with Yamamoto and Agyemang having to sit this one out. They are allowed to be at the game, but are not allowed to sit on the bench. They are in street clothes and are allowed to stay right behind the bench. Here we go. TAGUIG in white and dark blue. They're playing from left to right. Aguilas UMAK in red and dark blue. They're playing from right to left. Talarok trying to make that impact from the get-go. But when you sub in a player right after the half, Natasha, it does not seem like that sense of approach of fresh legs. Because you could say everyone's fresh after that break, so it seems really more like a tactical sub rather than just using a fresh player.
And another aspect is that they can add on a different dynamic to the game. Help change things up on the attacking end. You felt that for Aguilas, they were very good on that left-hand side, from the side of Diallo. But they couldn't get that same luck on the right side with Ganas.
Goldson. Reichelt. Will he get the better of Dodong Villarreal? Not in this instance. Boubacar Diallo was there to help him out. Villarreal surrounded and Diallo will clear it. Now it's Sato who has to send it back to his keeper. Čupić not clearing it. Taking a touch, getting it forward. Can Sato reach it? That is the case. Calm under pressure.
Both keepers coming in, showing that they're comfortable on their feet.
Tete from Amita. Isa Diallo. The Diallos were the Aguilas, not brothers. Isa working his way in. Richard Tete. He's also been able to score crucial goals in this season for the Aguilas. Talarok will cross. Nano. Lauren Mahmoud Ali in this occasion. Amita not the tallest, but you know, he's gonna go for it with these aerial duels.
Amita just putting on that pressure as well. And as you mentioned, even though he doesn't get it, making sure the defenders don't have time.
De Paula. Isa Diallo. And Amita go for it. It was sent to the middle though. Sweeper keeper action here. Boubacar. Stephen Halm. Adamo's in an offside position there. I believe in the nitty-gritty, but correct me if I'm wrong, of course, Natasha. If Halm had a missed touch, Adamo could have bounced because it was not a pass to Ibrahim.
That's right. Regardless, Adamo wasn't aware to that.
Kalukaran from De Paula. Minimal changes made coming out of the locker room. It's just that sub again with Cartalara coming in for Anton Ganas. Here's Shiraoka. Stephen Halm. Got to clear it. It's out of play though. Do you see any drastic changes, Natasha, with the approaches of our two teams, or is it still that same tactically? Here comes Hartman. Sent it. Reichel couldn't frame it though.
You can't believe that that wasn't on target. There was a good build-up, quick moments from TAGUIG down that right flank. And with a player like Mark Hartman sending in that ball directly onto that run of Reichel to it.
Ichiro has to deal with Isa. Ichiro Aoki the victor. Hartman, but he has Kalukaran chasing him down, and he could not release.
The replay, Aldeguer onto Hartman. Look at that ball right behind the defensive line, beyond the reach of the goalkeeper. But the pressure from Villarreal onto Reichel, and he can't believe that it went nowhere near the goal.
Reichel did have a highlight goal earlier in this season. It was taken one touch. I talked to him after the game, away from the broadcast. I said it reminded me of his one-touch goal versus Macau, right here at the Rizal Memorial Stadium. And he goes, bro, the goal versus Turkmenistan in Maldives was much closer, he said. It was a Bundesliga-like kick. I'm referring to the Bundesliga logo, just to clarify, of course.
But Reichelt, a great pickup from TAGUIG. Debuted for TAGUIG just the start of this season and quickly has made a big impact. One of the most dangerous players for TAGUIG. 21 goals to his name.
Mathematically speaking, he has a chance to overtake number 2 ranked Finn McDaniel, who has 23. But goals are difficult to come by in the championship round. And knowing the mentality of these top-level players, yung championship ang hinahabol, hindi talaga yung mga individual awards. But individual awards become a bonus if you win the title, knowing their mindset.
As you mentioned, gone are the days of those big score lines. In this championship round, you're going against all the teams with the same level and capability as you. All teams are locked in. The margin for error is that much smaller.
Speaking of margins, this was somehow gifted to Naoto Hiraishi. He'll try to go the length of the pitch if he could, of course. Aldeguer has space in the middle. No one on the right here. Guess what? Here's Patrick Reichelt. Cross to the back post. Sato. Blocked here though. That was Palpalato coming up with the stop. Chupic the clearance.
Look at that touch to cushion that. And Aguilas with possession once again and gives it away cheaply.
And Hartman will slow it down to their liking. Triggers it though, because why not with Patrick Reichelt playing up front? Just 8 minutes into this second half. Much going on already here. Both sides, I reckon, have been able to see some quality time with the ball. This instance, it's the Aguilas. Isa Diallo couldn't get it on target. Chupic not happy with that. I believe he wanted something better from his defense.
I feel a lot of that was miscommunication, just allowing that ball to trickle all the way to Diallo on that opposite end. It was beyond the reach. The keeper had to make himself as big as possible. Kupic making sure that Diallo doesn't get that one on a target or anywhere within the goal frame.
Yes, they did not concede there. But it's a tough day in the office for the TAGUIG keeper and defense. They've seen better days.
It's always so important for your goalkeeper to be very aware of that danger. He had no chance to get to that ball first. To make the smart decision to make sure that Diallo doesn't get time on the ball to make a proper decision. Forcing him to take it quickly, and eventually it went out.
Let's take a look at the form again of our two teams in this championship round as of late. The Aguilas with 2 wins and a loss so far in this championship round alone. As we look at the half line, Kurt Dizon and Marcus Haber will enter. Going back with form, TAGUIG. A win, a draw to go with a loss. Come to think of it, Manila Digger, TAGUIG, your championship contenders, have experienced some rough sailing as of late. As Aoki stepped off for Dizon and Haber. We'll clarify that last player who stepped off, as you may have been able to see it though.
Goldson day is done. You see him on the opposite far end already walking out of the pitch. TAGUIG uses an opportunity to make the double substitution, putting in Haber and Dizon. 2 players with very good experience, national team experience.
Adamu, will he make a 2 to his name and for his team? Amita surrounded. Diallo sends it. Crosses was enough to trouble Milos.
Again, about the two substitutes coming in. Marcus Haber with 27 appearances for the Canadian national team. Finding his way onto the PFL. You also have the likes of Kurt Dizon, who's had a stint with the national team, has played in the Thai League, and with Loyola for quite some time before making his way to TAGUIG.
Dizon was also able to get experience with Kaya in the Copa. And that was a season where Kaya FC got to play in the AFC Champions League, which is the equivalent now of the AFC Champions League Elite. Minutes into this second half. So yeah, Goldson and Aoki step off after playing 10 minutes in this second half. I'm just speculating. They tried the wait and see option there rather than pull the trigger coming out of the dugout. Was that instinct by Shiraoka? After the fake, he looked down, had the intention of picking up. Uy, nasa labas pala ako ng goalkeeper box. De Paula just sends this one long. Now it's the Aguilas defending.
Very lucky, able to weave themselves way out of that. As you mentioned, Shiroka, they opted to play it short. I didn't see that TAGUIG ready to pounce. Did just make two attacking changes. So, you know, every time you make the substitution, especially for players up on top, they're so hungry to get the ball, to make an impact, to change the game.
Assuming TAGUIG and Aguilas bag the draw here. And in this instance, the championship between TAGUIG and Digger. There's this header from Haber way out. Got it on target though. In this instance, if TAGUIG bag a draw, this will send the title race to the last day. But obviously they want to win. If they get the win, of course, things will be slightly easier mathematically as we just break things down and do the math.
Mention it time and time again. The two teams with the most to gain, TAGUIG and Manila Digger, from these fixtures. There's only two teams feeling the pressure right now. And I mean that in the best way possible. Because pressure is a privilege, which means that they have something to play for until the final game day.
All competitors, of course, out to bag that elusive trophy. Started the season with 11. Now you only have two teams who can win the title mathematically. Caloocaran versus Aldeguer again. Diallo, he's been the provider of sorts here. That's why he's on the wing. Sent it to the middle. Stephen Ham took a touch first before getting it to Aldeguer. Reichelt, clean here from De Paula. Pedro goes for it and sends it to the bleachers.
And what a moment and a wave of attack coming in from Aguilas. Diallo on that left-hand side, getting the better of the defender of Hiraishi. A nutmeg, gets the pass inside. Halm able to clear that one out, but De Paula in transition has been important for Aguilas. The shot way over.
Haber challenging Tete there in the air. So, flicked it back. Going back though, with TAGUIG and Digger. Guaranteed to finish 1 and 2, but no order there. That means they'll be nominated to play in the AFC next season. Dummied! Cleared off here though by Palpalatok. He has exhausted My vocabulary for defensive stops, not just with this game, but with this entire season. Boubacar Diallo with intent, sending it to the side. It's a throw-in.
This game has seen everything. Look at that ball. The dummy run from Reichelt. Thinking that Dizon was in a position to receive it. But Haber as well was behind his defender.
Hartman floats it. Hung. That was difficult though. He'd have liked to nail it. But I'm seeing something here with Haber coming on. He's trying to match up with Palpalatok.
And even on that last chance, Hartman trying to send out Hulm, similar to how they got the goal.
Collision in the midfield. Amita was surrounded. Aldeguer eventually cleaned up. Sato. He'll try to restart those engines. Able to do so because he got it to Kurt Dizon. He'll be that dynamo on the wing. Kurt sends it. Goes to his opposite. Hiraishi. Haber to the middle. Here's a collision. Shouts for a penalty. Want a gig. Contesting that non-call. They cannot believe it when you refer to the bench.
I'd love to see a replay of that. Cross from Hiraishi. Haber's trying to set up Aldeguer. You want to see that one more time. If Diallo got the ball before he took down Aldeguer. And he was very lucky to get the ball at the same time as Aldeguer. Last-ditch defensive effort.
Pressure's being mounted by TAGUIG. Can they convert or will the Aguilas hold on? So far, it's the latter. Dizon now on the other wing. Now to whips it in. Haber, great from him there because he got it to Hartman. But it looks like they couldn't connect with Andres Aldeguer this time around.
Hartman once again able to give those passes between the defenders, trying to set up Aldeguer, just not on the same wavelength there and couldn't get his toe in. Faked out the defense and his own attacking player with that pass.
That's how good the fake was. I know it happens.
Just that creative mindset that Hartman brings to the side of TAGUIG. Just helped them become the second best attacking record throughout the season. You're not surprised with the numbers as well. Hartman, 18 assists.
And yes, that's correct. You saw Nano Amita get whistled for a foul while trying to duel for the ball in the air. Hartman from Dizon. Great intention. Do you say just a few feet off? Close call here, but DePaula knew what he was doing. You really see Dizon and Haber trying to shake things up. Talarog. He's gone a little bit silent now with the Aguilas having to do defending. There's eventually a whistle here, though. That's won by Reichelt. While we are at it also, yes, Philippine football fans may be gutted that the PFL will end, or this season of the PFL will end on Saturday. But we have the upcoming international window. As it's off the head of Richard Tete. The Philippines, Guam, and Myanmar will figure in a series of Tri-Nations friendlies. So those teams will get to play against each other once. And they will end this window playing a total of 2 games each. Philippines will play Guam on June 3. Guam and Myanmar will play on June 6. The Philippine men's national team once more will conclude that set of games versus Myanmar, a very familiar foe in the ASEAN Football Federation. Malapit na rin yung Hyundai Cup, as we know, which is the AFF Men's Championship. Ball still inside here. Coach Ping and Tialio said otherwise. Sport official Michael Paraz telling them to stay in their area.
Dizon just couldn't get on the opposite end of that. As you've mentioned, national team games coming up right after the end of this PFL season. It's good to know 4 players from the Philippine Football League are called up to the national team. 1 player playing on the pitch right now in Daisuke Sato. You have Rosquillo, who played earlier from Cebu. Later on, the likes of Patrick Dato and Nishioka.
Honorable mention, assistant team manager Patrick Reichelt, who is playing up front. He did retire from the national team. Not from playing at the club level though. Adamo versus Halm. A bit of the fake. Takes on the D on his own. Very routine stop here though.
Taguig doing enough to really take on those attacking players from Aguilas, man for man. Just allowing them to just take shots outside the box.
JV Kalukaran though was last touch there. Tried to push his luck and get it the other way though.
It was good pressure being put on by Haber, the substitute.
Bit of the shove. Aldeguer is still on his feet. Kalukaran trying to go for the turn. The 2 going shoulder to shoulder. You love that. Nauto. Bit of the shake and bake.
Defensive duties really being tested here.
Still goalless in this second half. But let's remember Adamo and Sato got to score a goal for their respective teams in the first. And my question, Natasha, obviously you and I know the answer. Pero pagkatapos ng international window, wala pang PFL. You have the upcoming World Cup, of course. So, with the World Cup being played in North America, yung mga laro na sa madaling araw. But the upside is, as I'll pause that thought first, because Tete and Aldeguer with extracurricular activities.
Likes of Tete, the Ghanaian player of Aguilas, 25 years old, squaring it up with Aldeguer. Aldeguer, one of the youngest players as well for the side of Taguig, has already made such a big impact for this team. He has 8 goals and 6 assists to his name. He's the injection of youth for the side of Taguig.
We are well aware that Aldeguer is that threat up front, but his shift to the wing has been able to unlock that new part in him. Maybe in a different timeline, Aldeguer would have played in the UAAP. But we know he took the track of playing for the youth national team setup, just then known as the Ascals development team. Also had a short stint in trying to play, or had a short stint playing Division 1 football in the USA. Went back to Taguig, of course, or went back to the PFL and opted to play for Taguig. Abra and De Paula. There was a bit of the holding earlier. Tito versus Tito. Villarreal got it to Cart. Stephen Haum got it. Sato says, send this to me, I'll make a run for it. He wants Sato the controls in a delicate situation like this because he wanted to find Patrick Reichelt. Hartman wanted to go for it. And as much as I mentioned Dodong Villarreal earlier in the midfield, he just ended up at the back magically. Sato again. Boubacar Diallo. Stephen Haum getting forward. There's the extra man for them. Aisuke will cross. Boubacar again. Just reading those oh so well. Now it's Isa Diallo who will push. 3 on 4 in this instance. After that, the keeper to beat. Adamu, but it is offside for Amita. But he kicked the ball right after the flag was raised. That could be a card, but Nano saying he did not hear the whistle.
That was smart of Amita to do that gesture. It's a close call there from that linesman.
So you see Jibrila who will enter along with Peña. Jibrila highly likely for the attack. You have Peña for midfield stability.
Three substitutions that will come on for the side of Aguilas. Jibrila, Peña, and wait for confirmation for that last one. Look like it's Al-Mashuri. Aguilas making some changes. The surprising player that they took off was Dodong Villarreal, who was an important factor holding the line defensively, making sure to stop the likes of Haber and Reichelt.
Now they'll go down the right. And then you see Richard Tete slotting in at the back. So he'll play either center back or central midfielder here for Coach Ping. You have Peña who's in the game. He's up against his high school teammate Andres Aldeguer. They played for DLSZ in the UAAP once upon a time. 2-1-1. He thought Jibrila was going to get it. Ali did enough though. And there's eventually the whistle. But it's against Naoto Hiraishi.
Just a confirmation again of those three players that came out, the likes of Villarreal, Diallo, and Adamu, all making way for Jibrila, Peña, and Al-Mashuri.
Most free kicks in the attacking end have gone the way of Juan Taguig, but the Aguilas will look to make this count. Played it short to Amita. He'll whip it in. And there is the last ditch stop. Sato getting in the way. They're saying it should be a goal kick. But the assistant referee is saying it's a corner.
This was the ball from Amita, making contact with De Paula rather than Sato, and that's why they were angry with that call.
So you have Al-Mashuri with his popular name, Muhammad Mishba. So he is Indonesian. Let's remember, Aguilas also have Ray Bukit, who has been splendid on the wing. Bukit, as we saw, is in the stands. He's bandaged up and is nursing a minor injury from the looks of it. Tandaan nga natin, the Aguilas have a partnership with Nusantara Lampung FC of Indonesia. Here's this Palpalato corner. Jupic got to deal with it. Can he distribute quickly? Able to do so amidst the traffic. Shaky from Peña. So clinging on to him. And it's a foul against the Japanese midfielder.
It was better from Kupic to collect from the corner. Safe hands. Tried to give that one quickly. Peña was the last man. Peña got to it first before So clipped Peña. Bounce. Oof. You'd think that So on the replay now got to the ball first.
It's crunch time now, or you could say it's the danger zone, as we have 13 minutes and additional time remaining. We are still unable to separate these teams, even after the critical first 15 minutes of this second half. Both teams just exchanging blows, as is the case with the first half. It's still Daisuke Sato and Ibrahim Adamu as your goal scorers. Stephen Halm and Nano Amita got to assist their respective teammates for those goals. You're joining us on the Philippines Football League's YouTube page. And alongside Natasha Alquiros Data, this is Caro Manzano. It is the second to the last game day right here. A draw, not ideal for TAGUIG heading into that last day of league action. A win obviously helps, and then they'll catch the Manila Digger Kaya FC Iloilo game later, because Digger are the rivals in this championship race.
But if you're TAGUIG, the most important thing is to do everything in your control to get the win today, to put you in the best situation for the last game day.
Dizon trying to get by Peña, has the first step. Diallo sent it to the wing. Tete getting great distance. Just off his opposite center back, Stephen Halm, but here's Amita. Hiraishi got to recover. Got this one to Mishba. Kalukaran. I said Mishba, nutmeg Mark Hartman. How often do you say that with Hartman's ability also with the ball?
Al-Mashuri showing us his quality on the pitch.
Talarok will send it. Chested by Ali. Palpalato trying to win it deep for them in the attacking end. Only goes as far as Peña. Trying to thread the needle. Aldeguer tracking back as that winger. Now it's with Hartman. They do not want to give him space if you're the Aguilas. But he has what he needs in this instance. Got his ball to Haber. A bit of the shirt pull from Kalukaran. They can swap jerseys at the end of the season. Low cross. Now it's De Paula. Back and forth we go.
Well handled by Boubacar Diallo. Slowing things down. Able to defuse that attack from TAGUIG. It's been a very cagey second half between these two teams. As you mentioned, Sato got the opener around the 15th minute mark in the first half, before Adamu equalized at the 27th minute, answering back quickly. And it's been on level terms since then.
It will remain with the Aguilas here. TAGUIG having to do some defending now. Here is Mishba. Al-Masuri also he's known. his head hitting the turf there. He just entered the game. Tandaan nga natin, Natasha.
Al-Mashuri with such a big impact off the bench. He's very much involved in all the movements and moments, especially on attack. Just landed awkwardly there. Good to see him back on his feet. Able to shake things off there. But another player down, not seen on the screens, is Kalukaran, the left back off the side of Aguilas. But with a little help from Shiraoka, able to shake things off as well now. This game has been played at such a high pace. Kalukaran, as that left back, has had to do a lot of running up against the likes of Aldeguer, Haber, and Reichelt.
You also love the camaraderie or the sportsmanship shown by So in Palpalatok to the respective opponents. Just a small gesture helping them up. You know, they're showing the spirit here in the beautiful game. De Paula gets it. Reichelt was able to stop him. He'll trigger the counter. Cleared off. That is correct, what I'm seeing. The Aguilas now forced down. It was dangerous with Haber getting close to beating Boubacar Diallo though.
That was good work from Reichelt to win the ball back in a dangerous area and set him up. This time around, winning another foul. Amita gets a card for the tackle and challenge on Reichelt.
Over ambitious there. Reichelt, the player, fouled though. Time continues to tick here with 7 minutes and change remaining. Let's also remember, with Taguig and Digger battling for the 1 and 2 spots, they're essentially going to be nominated already for AFC competition. But there's a bigger ticket if you finish as the champion, obviously. Whoever wins the league will get to play in the AFC Champions League 2 qualifying playoff and Shopee Cup qualifying playoff. Whoever finishes second will play in the AFC Challenge League qualifying playoff. So let's get this. If you play in the qualifying playoff of the Challenge League, if you lose that one game, just basing it off the format of the previous editions, that's it. If you finish as the champion, you play in the AFC Champions League 2 qualifying playoff. If you lose, you get that second chance by playing in the Challenge League. That's actually how Digger ended up in the Challenge League, because they did lose in the Challenge League 2 qualifying playoff. Kaya though, last season, or the distribution of slots was a bit different, did get to play directly in the group stage.
That's right, so the incentive for winning the PFL is just that much higher than finishing second. Playoff positions for Champions League, Shopee Cup.
Hartman drove it in, on target. Shiraoka colliding with Sato. Both just doing everything to get to the ball. This is not good though. Chris Magnaniola signaling for the medic immediately. The head of Shiraoka running into Sato's leg.
Mark Hartman causing all kinds of troubles with those deliveries. Shiraoka gets a touch for it before Sato just ramming it onto Shiraoka. Shiraoka now needing some treatment. That's also why it's very important not to give set piece opportunities for one Taguig in and around the attacking third area. Not only do they have a deadly set piece taker with Mark Hartman, they always have Halm there alongside the likes of Haber. Players who are very good in the air, causing a lot of troubles defensively. And then to add to that, you have the likes of Sato, who's always going for those second balls. In this case, of course, Shiroka got the touch to it first. The foul is called in favor of Aguilas.
It's also understandable that play is being stopped for Shiraoka. If it were a field player, of course, they'll get treatment on the side. Pero yung goalkeeper, you can't resume the game without a goalkeeper, of course. That's why it's understandable. And it's in the laws of the game. Less than 3 minutes now, and we'll head over to additional time. We're geared up for another nail-biter.
The ramifications of this game trickle down onto the last game day. If it's a draw for one Taguig and Manila Digger win their game later against Kaya, all they'll need is a draw in the last game day to clinch the championship.
One Taguig have this in their own hands, though, by grabbing a W. But it's been nip and tuck. It's been an even game between the two teams here. Sato, the goal scorer of Taguig. Ibrahim Adamo, the goal scorer for the Aguilas. We're hearing it's potentially 5 minutes of stoppage time, but that will be made official later on by referee Michael Barajas. Hartman will send it long. Aldeguer and Peña, once high school teammates, as we mentioned, they were matched up there. Sato sent it in. Dizon saw. And it's a superb stop from Shiraoka at the bottom corner.
I was just about to say, momentum has been flowing the way of one Taguig, and Aguilas been on the defensive end for quite some time now. And what a chance on the attack. Dizon setting up, Saw takes it first time, forcing a big save from Shiraoka.
A draw will actually suffice for the Aguilas to give them an upper hand heading into the last game day where they face Stallion, where they're essentially playing for 5th place. But here's Cartalarok to push. Dizon delaying the Aguilas foray forward.
That was a chance for Aguilas to just set things up on the attack against the grain of the flow.
And the 5 minutes on stoppage time that we initially heard is confirmed now by our 4th official. I'm running the numbers here in my personal computation. And if the Aguilas could somehow bag the victory, they're going to clinch 5th place already. I'm mentioning this because we've been talking about the implications for one Taguig because they are playing for the title.
For the attack so far for the side of Aguilas, it's been a lot of stop-start. Hasn't been that fluid on the attack.
And the Aguilas will just slow it down now. They'll have Shiraoka to stretch the defense. That midfield of Aguilas, led by De Paula in this game, has been able to weather the storms and put the fight to the higher-ranked TAGUIG. And there's a whistle from that last push of Naoto Hiraishi to Amita.
You say the Aguilas lucky to get that call in their favor. Amita dribbling his way into that. There wasn't much support on the attack, and you feel that that has been the case, especially in that last 15 minutes. They don't have the numbers on the attack.
There's also that chance that the Aguilas are going to put in Richard Talarok. That's for defensive purposes. At first, there's this chance that the Aguilas could capitalize on. TAGUIG will have to get a stop once more, and they'll have to go all the way to the opposite end. Sent in. Trying to go for target. No good for Palpalatok.
An opportunity wasted there for Aguilas in the attacking third.
Tete will get it back to his keeper. They will run the clock here.
See, the intention is to slow things down. They want to play this game at a slower pace.
From what we are seeing, though, you do have David Coombe, who was at the fourth official's table, and not Richard Talarok. Well, that change is not yet made official, of course. But most likely it's Coombe with the way things are going.
Then again, if this game also ends in a draw, that is a win for Aguilas. And a bigger loss for the side of TAGUIG.
Here's Sato. He could still change the dynamic of this. And it's a corner as they are calling on Mark Hartman as expected.
The record between TAGUIG and Aguilas. Massive wins in the first and second round for the side of TAGUIG. 3-0, 4-1. Can they make it 3?
There's the option to play it short to Hiraishi, but there's Kalukaran marking him. Sent in by Hartman, off the head of Reichelt. Peña with the clearance. Ali the favorite here. Just kicks it to the left. Ham sends it the attacking direction. Only ended up with Jibrila though. He did see Mishba Al-Mashuri floored. Chaos in the midfield, but it's in the attacking way of TAGUIG. But we have 40 seconds remaining until we hit the allocated 5. Shiraoka meeting that routine ball.
Aguilas waiting for a ball to go out to make that substitution, but I don't even think we'll have enough time for that. We're 15 seconds away. That full added time.
There's a bit of that playing safe also from TAGUIG, because if they end up losing this with the Aguilas getting a goal, it's a disaster. Hence the circumstances wherein they're also able to settle for a draw, but you see how deflated the TAGUIG players are. Coombe unable to enter, as you pointed out, Natasha, because we have the full-time whistle. And after getting swept by TAGUIG in the first and second rounds, you have the Aguilas holding on to a draw, but it's TAGUIG gutted. Of course, they're going to need some help later on with Manila Digger playing Kaya, but Adamo and Sato are your goal scorers all in the first half.
Aguilas getting that point today, putting them up to 39 points. And as you all know, Stallion are 36 points, getting that draw earlier against Cebu. So that puts us on a last two-day battle between Aguilas and Stallion for 3 points and also for the number 5 spot and for the side of TAGUIG. Now at 57 points with this draw, they jump on top of Manila Digger. Manila Digger still with the game to play later. And they'll be watching that one intently. It was a cagey game all throughout. Defensive players put on a full display. And at the end, the point is shared between these two teams, 1 apiece.
Both teams, as we've mentioned, back and forth. My turn, your turn. Exchanging blows, exchanging punches. It was a physical game, of course. Sorry if I have to repeat what was mentioned, but this result guarantees that the championship battle, regardless of result later from Manila Digger, will mean that the championship battle will go down to that last game day on Saturday. But all eyes on this one. The Aguilas have the upper hand heading into that last day again, as we mentioned, with that 5th place battle versus Stallion. But we have the numbers to describe and break down this action-packed game.
1 apiece, 51% possession for Aguilas, 49% for TAGUIG. Despite the numerous chances for both sides, 13 shots, 7 on target, only 1 goal for the Aguilas. And TAGUIG, 9 shots, 7 on target, and only 1 converted. And as you mentioned, this game and this result means everything will boil down to the last game day.
That's the only way to describe it. I'm out of words.
Number 1 spot, for the number 3 spot, for the number 5 spot, everything to play for in this championship round. It's that exciting. Continue to flood our live stream. Continue to come on out and support live at the Rizal Memorial Stadium.
And there you go. As we are going to sign off from the panel, we are going to take it later on to our man of the match interview. But this was Clara Manzano alongside Natasha Alqueros-Dato. It ends with Adam Winsato as your goal scorers. And it's Aguilas UMAK FC and TAGUIG FC 1-1. We'll send it to Diego Cordero. He is with our man of the match.
Congratulations, you got Man of the Match award. 2 games, TAGUIG beat Aguilas earlier in the season. What was different this time?
Yeah, this time we do team working. We just follow coach instruction and we play like that.
What was the words from your coach so that tonight could be different from the last 2 times?
Yeah, coach say, do push yourself. You need energy and defend together. Yeah, team spirit, solidarity.
Why is the team so motivated to get a result against TAGUIG tonight?
Yeah, this team is family team. We talk together, we win together, we draw together. This man of the game is not mine. This is team working.
And then last, do you have any message to your friends, your family, and to the fans of Aguilas?
I push them. We have 1 more game. Now, come to support Aguilas. We give your best.
Thank you very much. Congratulations.
puhunan mo sa bawat segundong humihinga. Pruweba to na ika'y uubra. Ang puso iyong pakinggan. Pangalan mo kanilang tinitilian.
goalkeeper, putting himself under pressure. It's the opener. Halige, will he take it? What a goal! Halige! And it's a goal. Bottom left corner. Opportunity for Philippine Army, and it is an equalizer. Fantastic goal. It's free on the right side, looking for the cross. Beto, and it's a goal for TAGUIG. Yoga takes it straight to the goal. First blood drawn. Could easily be pulled back, but here's Aristorenas, no offside. Aristorenas makes it 2.
Mirbach meets that one from Malunsoko. Shoots, and they double the lead.
Yamaguchi! What a hit!
There's an attacking chance, and the Aguilas slip it in.